Hoose, The Last Village, by James E.M. Rowlands. Episode 3.
Shatter!
I cannot tell for sure if the same scenes play out in both public houses this morning, but we can be certain that they most probably do. This is in the Plasterers.
Shut up and listen to me!
Says the other Bevan, the lighthouse keeper. We need to decide what to do together. The boats, shouts a man. We have to see if there are people in the water, Bevan replies. Why are we hiding in here? It's over. Whatever it was, it's finished. There must be people in the sea. Who's coming with me? There is a Welshman in Hoose named Williams, Ellis Williams, a veteran of the British Army, although not one to mention it that often. He's in his 50s now, but still a burly fellow. Not in height necessarily, but in thickness. His crimson handlebar moustache bristles before he speaks. He pushes the man aside and takes the floor. Let me say something. I have just witnessed my whole country crumble before my eyes. Don't you understand? There's nowhere to leave to. He's interrupted.
Sod off, Taffy. It's only a landslide.
Williams continues. You know best, of course, but we would be better staying here. Well, not here in the pub, but in Hoose and waiting for help. He can see the blind panic and knows there's no point whatsoever in attempting to contradict or appease the mass. You know best. He's unheard. Before he has even got halfway through his next utterance, only his first 3 words have been taken as gospel, and the agitated folk of Hoose begin hunting for anything that floats. Strangely, and what a word to employ after all that has happened, Hoose retains a modicum of shore. Where yesterday was miles of beach is now a mere slipway of moribund slush. Each coming wave erodes what is left. The crabs grieve salt. They flake away the edges of their moon. Of the 200 or so inhabitants, all but a score decide to take their chances with the sea. Those who will stay do so for varying reasons. Anne Armitage, because her husband is out fishing with Richard Bevan, and she can't stand the thought of his return to an empty home. Jenny Bird, because her mother is too unwell to begin a voyage. The Dodds, Williams, his wife Elenid, and their 2 daughters, the Sherlocks and their infants, a certain Mr. Grace that no one really knows that well, but have seen around the pubs, and the owners of the Plasterers, Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, along with their 5 children, and a vagabond named Ben. Most leave. They always do. In the Grand National of collective thrall brought on by the cataclysmic gravity of sudden and incomprehensible circumstances, the throng follows itself, pulsating down into the very ill-starred fate it wishes to avoid at all costs. They prepare to bid adieu with ale, bread, and a little dried fish in an array of measly craft, unwitting offerings upon the altar of Sheer, deity of the oceans, now singular. They have clung on and bred and slept, but never yet improved their station. The haste in which they exchange the safety of this one remaining piece of solid land for an uncertain jolly in a smack is akin to the chaotic, heedless dispersion of cats when startled, or houseflies targeting the sticky ribbon in the corner of an otherwise open room, and which means them no apparent harm. This is the way of Homo sapiens, not to think, but to move in the false credence that doing anything is preferable to one brief moment of reflection. As a courtesy, they leave behind a single boat with space for 6 people, and promise that of course they will return as soon as they have found other land. Then, with hardly a gaze back, they are gone. Their dogs cry for them, jump in, and attempt to follow but swim back. or drown. Those who leave their dogs and cats have no intention of return. William, the lighthouse keeper, being an authority of sorts here, he bids them sit together in the plasterers and makes one or two suggestions, which are quite eagerly agreed upon. The first, to search every now empty home and make an inventory of foodstuffs, liquids, and any other products of use at their disposal. The second, to round up all livestock and note all the places where vegetables or edibles are growing. This is undertaken in small groups. None of the houses are ever locked here. In fact, some have left their doors wide open, so little they heed their own words of a possible homecoming. An hour or so later, all reconvene with lists both mental and in writing, given not all are literate. It is agreed that they can subsist for quite a while yet, if not permanently, what with water dropping freely from the sky and fish from the sea. There are poultry in abundance, 3 sheep, 2 pubs worth of ale, and the contents of 2 backyard allotments. This latter is something they will have to take far more seriously if their predicament persists. Theirs will be a high-protein, high-fat, high-alcohol diet, low in or without fruit and with minimal greens, so not a shock to the system. Other objects or items of information which have been recovered include oil lamps, the location of coal, fishing tackle, garden and building tools, a book named Codex, and a child's embroidered pillow which reads, Jane Bird, aged 9, her work, Hoose School, 1839. It is now late afternoon on this first day of days, in which a lifetime's ordeals, loss and revelations, none least in the character of men, have been condensed into the few hours since dawn. But the day is not over yet. Now that's strange, says Ellis Williams, gawping at the sky. The sun is setting to the north. How do you mean? Asks Dodds, who's not far behind. Well, those windows face southwest, right? But the sun is shining through those over there. It occurs to all our stricken friends that this may be one incremental prank of nature upon them or against them. But are they really of such importance in the endless cosmic scheme of things that Sol, their eternal orb, would realign itself on a whim? Bevan, what do you say? Asks Dodds. He rubs his chin. We've pivoted, more likely.
What?
He's asked in unison. Hoose is afloat and drifting. As day one finally ends, the silence is broken by the chatter of great bemused creatures beneath their feet. And from afar, as yet unheard, is the cacophonous entirety of all avian life seeking land. Closer to home, the dogs are getting hungry. And where will Hoose be when the sun rises tomorrow? And if Hoose is afloat, how will Bevan and Armitage ever find them again?